Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. I'm Kristi Shive, and this morning we're visiting with Annhall Norris. She's the Food Preservation and Food Safety Extension Specialist for the University of Kentucky. Good morning, Annhall.
Good morning, Kristi. I'm happy to be here.
It's great to have you on the show. Annhall, disaster is never something that we want to plan for, but it is truly so important to have a plan in case those times do come.
That's right. It gives you a little bit peace of mind and kind of alleviates some of that stress when you're going through that disaster. And so a 3-day emergency kit is absolutely necessary for every household to have. And you want to have enough food and water per person for at least 3 days on hand at all times.
So let's start with food. Can you give us some examples of what types of food that we should have on hand?
Yes, and so you want to get food that has a long storage life, something that's commercially canned or shelf stable or dried. And so examples might be canned meat, canned fish, canned beans. Those are all good sources of protein. You can can vegetables and fruit, even some canned milk if you want canned milk, because you can have cereal in that kit. Peanut butter is always good, and then dried foods have a long shelf life. Jerky is especially good to put in there. It has a high protein content. So those are some examples of the food that you would want to keep in your kit.
Now, I might be getting ahead of you, but people should also make sure that they have a can opener to open those items.
Yes, that's right. When I get to the end, I was going to say, make sure you have a can opener because you don't want to have all of this food and then not be able to open it or eat it.
Oh, yes. Well, I did get ahead of you, but let's go on and move on to water. How much water should we have?
Yes, you need 1 gallon of water per person per day, and you want to include your pets in that. So if you have a family of 4 and 1 dog, that's 5 people, that's 3 days. So that's 15 gallons of water. And you don't have to purchase individual gallons. In the water aisle in the grocery store, they have 5-gallon containers. So you can purchase larger amounts of water at a time to keep on hand for your 3-day supply.
Great tips. Is there anything else besides food and water that we might need?
Well, in that kit, you would also want to include maybe flashlights, a battery, paper cups and plates, utensils to eat. You don't necessarily have to heat the food that's in your kit, but you will need something to eat it with. I like to include matches in that kit, maybe toilet paper, hand sanitizer, just some basic things to get you through those 3 days. When you get your supplies purchased, you want to make sure you put them in a airtight container that's waterproof. So a large plastic tote would work. And you want to find a place to keep that in your home that's temperature controlled. So if you have a basement, that's a great place. Attics aren't usually good because they're really hot and you don't want that food or water exposed to heat. A garage might work, but you want to keep it away from chemicals or gasoline, any type of contaminant like that. We have these smaller storage containers that slide under your bed at my house, and canned goods fit in those perfectly. So that's my recommendation, is to get a plastic tote with a tight fitting lid.
Now, if someone is watching and they want some more resources about preparing for a disaster, where can they go to access that information?
Well, there's a great website called ready.gov, and we'll put that at the end of the show. And then your extension office in the next few weeks will have some paper publications on preparing for a disaster, a 3-day supply, and then a 2-week supply of items.
Annhall, such great information. Thank you so much for being with us today to talk about something that we might not always want to think about, but it is so important. If you would like more information, be sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.